Welcome back, boys. Today we have a real one. Modern life is designed to break you by Alex Way.
Modern life is designed to break you. And no, I don't mean that in a poetic, metaphorical way. I mean literally. Your job, your relationships, your lifestyle, even your sense of self. All of it is set up in a way that's meant to drain you. In a way that makes you feel like you're constantly behind, constantly not enough, constantly stuck, and constantly not as good as other people around you. And if you feel that way, it's probably not your fault. We're all going through something like this. Aside from the top 0.001% of people in wealth and status, I guarantee you that we're all going through something similar like this. It's not just dysfunctional, it's intentional. On a macro level, it's almost like there's a system in place, some kind of weird partnership between corporations, government, and just the overall culture that's been designed to keep you alive just long enough to milk your money and drain your life force in the process. Is it just me who feels that way, or have you kind of started to see the same thing too? I mean, something like that sounds extreme, but if you zoom out, I think that's exactly what it looks like. This system, if we should call it that,
Well, we've touched upon this before, like with bureaucracy and stuff like that, if you follow the channel. In jobs, in smaller groups or like in new established companies, like it's very like human. Like it's very like human based, like you feel like a human. But like in these larger corporations or these bigger jobs, like you feel like a damn ant, like a machine. Like they don't even treat you like a human. You're no longer a person. You're just a spreadsheet, really.
it's built for productivity, not people, for profit, not peace. And the craziest thing is that if you're not
Yeah, they they don't they don't really measure the I guess happiness or the well-being of people anymore. They really just look at like GDP. It's like if the GDP goes up, oh, that means the people are happier. That's not how it works.
breaking under the weight of it all, then that probably means you're numbing yourself just enough to get by. And that's what they want. If you've ever wondered why you feel so disconnected from the world around you, why work feels so pointless, why dating feels like a rigged game, and why even basic happiness seems like something that's so difficult to achieve, you're not alone and you're not fucking crazy. The truth is that the world has changed, but we never got the memo. No one taught us that. And we find ourselves still trying to live out meaningful lives in a system that's quietly stripped away everything that used to make life meaningful. And while we're constantly told to just work harder and grind and hustle, the truth is that it's tough for most of us. If it were just myself going through this, I wouldn't have the arrogance to talk about this topic. It's only because I know that a lot of people, especially young guys my age, were feeling overwhelmed and just quietly wondering, like, is this all there is to life? And I think no one wants to say this kind of stuff aloud because doing so feels like admitting defeat, but someone needs to talk about it. And I feel fine with
Yeah, I felt this, and I started reading books. I started to look out for options, because if everything is bad, you just automatically start to look for like options, like how can my situation get better? And I see that reading history helped me a lot. Although I gotta be honest, like I don't know much, but like reading history and learning from other people about the world, it calmed me down. I started to really just get out more, go out in nature, go work out in the gym, just focus on what I can do.
doing that because I don't see it as defeat. I see it as awareness. And awareness is the first step to breaking free. Because what we're up against isn't just a country, a corporation, or a culture. I can't even explain it, but it just seems like some kind of machine that's designed to keep you constantly tired, consuming, and distracted from what's really going on. I feel like the most obvious problem nowadays is work and your career. For one, even just getting a job nowadays. It's like playing a slot machine that only pays out if you have a master's degree and already 5 years of experience for an entry level job. Some of the demands you see on job applications is just crazy nowadays.
I've met people with master's degrees that have difficulty finding jobs. This is that was like
It's
that's
hyper
insane.
competitive, it's cutthroat, and thanks to AI, things are about to get even worse. It's already hard enough to compete with other people around you.
an incredible amount of jobs are going to disappear like that. And what are people going to do? Like, I, I we watched something before, right? It doesn't look very bright for the future. I won't lie to you. It doesn't.
You in a globalized economy, but soon it's not just going to be other people. You're going to be competing against robots too. Machines that don't sleep, don't eat, don't get sick, don't take days off, and don't require money to survive. If a corporation can cut costs and get the same efficiency or even better, why the fuck would they not do it? It seems like the job market is just evolving faster than we can adapt, and most of us are left scrambling to catch up if you're not like the top 0.1% of talent. But let's say you do go through all that hassle of applying to the job and you do get it. Congrats. What's next?
Yeah, the trades are exploding right now. Me personally, I'm a carpenter with like I finished my education.
You get to work 9 to 5 for the next 40 years of your life while the government takes your taxpayer money and sends it to Israel, giving your entire life and your energy to a company that can just let you go without warning if they ever wanted to. But during the time that you are lucky enough for them to allow you to work for them, you spend your days doing tasks that just feel meaningless, sitting in boring meetings, writing mundane emails, and overall just pretending to care about things you don't really care about, if we're being honest. Also, you can do what? Afford rent, food, a house, groceries, a Netflix subscription. It just becomes a cycle of living to work and working to live. But what's the point in all that? It feels like there's no dignity in it anymore. And unlike in the past, not even like a sense of stability.
Yeah, I've I've met people that they make a lot of money, but they work so much they can't even spend it. They tell all these stories of what they want to do with, like, they want to go kayaking, they want to go hiking, they want to do all these like outdoor activities and enjoy life, but they just do
Again,
work.
the global marketplace is more competitive than ever, and companies have more reasons than ever to fire you without warning. The whole process of going through like a normal job and career, it just feels like endless resumes, endless rejections, and the looming fear of falling behind. But what's worse is that in the past, there was at least reason to justify living that way. They sold you the dream of a stable career with a pension and a paid off house, but it's 2025 and it seems like that whole thing is a relic of the past. In the past, most people worked normal jobs and lived normal lives, but they had something to live for, something deeper, a family, a relationship, neighbors and friends around you, a community, a nice little house in the
All that is destroyed.
suburbs with the white picket fence and all that. It wasn't necessarily glamorous, but it gave life structure and it gave the average person something to live for and something that they could realistically achieve within their lifetimes. But now, that vision is practically a fantasy. It's very hard to be just a normal person in today's world and succeed and be happy. Everything has changed. For example, with the prices nowadays, home ownership is out of reach for most young people unless you inherit wealth or get incredibly lucky. Starting a family feels like an impossible task when you're living alone or with roommates and rent takes up half your paycheck. Even if you do try your best to live the American dream of that previous era while working a normal job, it would cost so much to raise just one kid, let alone three or four like many families used to have in previous generations. But even dating, which is the starting point to get to all of that, has completely fundamentally changed. Back then it was simple. People dated within their communities. There were natural opportunities to meet people through things like friends, school, church, or just hanging around the neighborhood when people went outside and cities were walkable. But now, everything is digital. You see those graphs about how online dating has just skyrocketed in recent years. Relationships, something that used to be deeply meaningful to us as people, it's just been turned into a fucked up game. Swiping, ghosting, algorithms, elo scores. What the fuck, dude? It's harder than ever to find someone who wants to build a future together with you, let alone someone you connect with on a deeper level. And dating is extremely tough, especially if you're a young guy in this era. It just feels like you're playing a game that's stacked against you. Dating apps have basically ruined everything. Sure, they've made it more convenient, but they've also made it way more superficial. Your face and your height are what you get judged on, and if you don't look a certain way, you're practically invisible. You can be a kind, thoughtful, intelligent person, but if your photos don't scream 6 foot tall with a chiseled jawline, good luck. Good luck with that. And even if you do match with someone, the odds of it going anywhere meaningful are so slim. It seems like everyone's dating with one foot out the door already, and especially girls who have so many options on these dating apps. It's like trying to pick from a buffet. Everyone wants to keep their options open. Everyone wants to find the best person on paper instead of finding a person who's good enough and then trying to build the best relationship from that. So, long story short, we've gamified human connection, and in doing so, we've made it disposable. That's why more people are lonelier than ever, both guys and girls. That's why our mental health is worse than ever on a societal level. It's all just a system of endless short-term interactions. Cheap thrills, no depth, no commitment, just the next swipe. Everything is surface level, and it seems like we're losing the ability to connect with people in any real, lasting way. And part of it is because even the cultural messaging has shifted. A lot of people, but especially women nowadays, are encouraged to prioritize career and independence over everything else. Like, I want to be a boss babe. And that's fine if that's genuinely what you want to do. Like, no one's here to judge your life preferences. But if we're just being honest, it's led to a dynamic where relationships are seen as optional, even burdensome. And again, while some people might enjoy that freedom, I feel like a lot of us are afraid to admit it, but on a deeper level, we're craving something more. And that gives rise to the loneliness epidemic, as everyone likes to call it.
Yeah, dating is a problem nowadays. Like I've had like these women, these young women, they go to school and they get these degrees. I've spoken to women and I tell them what I do. Oh, I'm a carpenter. They look in their eyes, bro. You should see how they change. It's that kind of that was kind of crazy for me. I was like, no way, like this shit is real, but it was. And the thing is, the higher they climb in this social ladder, the harder it is for them to date because women have this hypergamous nature that where the higher they go, they need a partner of equal value or higher. It just is what it is. Yeah, I don't see.
It's so ironic that we're the most connected generation in history, but also the loneliest. You see the studies about people who say they feel like they're chronically lonely, and the numbers are only going up. Social isolation is really like a public health crisis, but no one's talking about it because no one wants to admit their problems. Because I feel like people think that's embarrassing to admit. But just being real, most people that I know live alone, work alone, scroll alone, and just aren't in relationships either, at least not long term. Me and my friends spend way too much time sending each other reels on Instagram, but even though we're technically connected through our phones, it's not genuine.
Yeah, I've had that. Like, you don't really have like real deep, genuine connection or deep bonds, you know? Me personally, I don't have any friends. If I'm being honest, I don't have. I wish I had like brotherhood, or like a group of friends I could go hike with, like do something physical, you know, go through something strenuous or difficult and build that bond. Now everything is so surface level. I find so many like lazy dudes. They don't really want to put in effort to build something more.
And in general, just through social media, we find ourselves watching other people live their lives while quietly wondering why ours feel so empty. But the truth is that everyone's feeling empty, it's not just you. Even the ones who post how glorious their lives are on their stories and Facebook pages. And again, the lack of third spaces is another reason.
The main reason I started this channel is for men. That's really it. For men to just come together and enjoy uh, being together and create like a community. That's what I want to create.
And most people's lives nowadays are just condensed to you work, you go home, you scroll or watch Netflix or some shit. Cities aren't really walkable. It seems like everyone's in their own little bubbles. There's not too many socially acceptable places where you can just talk to people or just hang out or meet someone new. Everyone seems isolated and atomized. And then you wonder, why does life feel so hollow? But the answer is obvious. It's because we're not meant to live like this. But even if everything does seem to work out for you on the surface, like you have a job, you have a partner, you're planning for the future, how do you afford everything? Housing prices, like I mentioned earlier, are going insane. The cost of food is rising. I show this picture all the time, but I've seen eggs that are selling for like $18 at my local grocery store. And all this time, wages are barely budging. It's not like wages are increasing so much to make up for it. Most young adults today just will never be able to match the buying power of their parents. And meanwhile, every aspect of life is being
If you're an older gentleman, I would recommend going overseas. There's many good places, many good options.
turned into a payment plan right in front of
Or if you have money, just get out straight up. I wish I could, but I can't.
our eyes. You don't buy a
Not right
car
now.
anymore, you lease it. You don't buy a service anymore, you have to subscribe to it. Even when I go on Amazon, which is supposed to
You will own nothing and be happy.
be for like one-time purchases, I see all these options for like subscribe and save, where they deliver that thing like every few weeks or something. You're being conditioned to normalize renting out your life, but there's no alternative, so you keep on paying. The system is rigged for dependency, and those big companies just make more and more money off of you. It's not like I can just use a flip phone instead of an iPhone. And the looming threat of all this is that, especially in a country like America, a single emergency, like a medical bill, it can set you back months, even years in some cases. So for many people, the idea of saving up for wealth, it feels like a joke. No matter how well off you are, if you're not in like the 0.1% of earners, you're essentially in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, it's hard to find actual joy and achieve your true potential in everything. No time for passion, no time for a dream, just time to go to work and scroll on social media. I feel like I've been all over the place in this video, but the bottom line I'm trying to get across is that the things that used to give people a sense of happiness, like community, connection, stability, raising a child, those things are no longer guaranteed to us, and it's not even close to that, honestly. And the system didn't give us anything meaningful to replace those things with. Instead, it gave us screens, it gave us social media, it gave us hustle culture, it gave us endless content and dopamine hits. Every app you use is designed to keep you distracted. Even the news cycle is meant to keep you scared. I go on YouTube, and a lot of my YouTube feed nowadays is just bombarded with what's going on in the world, when it's not like I searched for that shit in the first place. The content machine is engineered to keep you scared, and when you're scared, you're more likely to listen to what the powers that be tell you. It seems like we're being kept stimulated just enough to never question why we're unhappy. And when we do it, we're told that we're the problem, that we're lazy or entitled or not trying hard enough or just too negative. But that's not the truth. The truth is that Gen Z, or whatever you want to call it, we're still trying. It's not like an entire generation of people just got lazy overnight all of a sudden. Some might say we're trying harder than any generation before us, at least on the mental side of things. But we're getting less in return. The game has changed, the ship has sailed, and the rules are different than what it used to be. And if you've ever personally felt like you're not built for this world, something just feels off, I just want to say that it's probably not you. Stop blaming yourself. You're conditioned to want to blame yourself, but it's not always your fucking fault. In the end, there's no perfect answer, but if modern life is designed to break us, then the only way forward is to stop letting it. And by that I mean to try to at least build something different. Why play by the rules of a game that's rigged against you to begin with? Maybe it's not the right time to just sit back and accept the hand that was dealt to you. Maybe it's time to fight back, but in your own way. Because maybe the solution isn't to play a broken game harder. Maybe it's to build a new game, and that's what I'm trying to do for myself. If you've watched till here, I can share some stuff about my personal worldview. Over the course of my life, I've been hurt to the point where I've accepted the fact that I will never be able to live the life that I used to imagine. I'm someone who's not built to succeed in this modern world. I'm extremely short and I'm not attractive in a world that prioritizes your superficial features. My mind works very differently than a lot of people, like I'm neurodivergent. I've never fit in. I've never been successful with girls. I've always felt like an outcast. I was a good student until I wasn't and started to really struggle with that, to the point where my stress and anxiety over school made me physically sick. I'm also just not the type of person who does well in very structured environments like an office. I feel like almost everything in my life has sort of set me up for failure. And all of that, again, just means that I'm not the type of person who can succeed trying to live a normal life in this world. But maybe that's okay, because the result of all that is that I've stopped comparing myself to other people. I've stopped chasing what I'm supposed to want because I feel like I can see through the trap of it all. And instead, I'm focused on building something that feels right for me, no matter what other people think. Because fuck that, I'm not gonna succeed in their world anyways, so I might as well try to succeed in my own. Because if you're also like me, if you also feel like the world is broken some way, or if you just don't fit in, maybe the solution isn't to play the rigged game harder. It's to build a new game for yourself. That doesn't mean it's easy, but if you're doing that, or at least trying to find a way to exist in this world without losing yourself completely, and kind of are able to see the things going
Wow, that's beautiful.
on around you for what they are at least, then I think you're doing better than you realize. You're not broken, you're just awake. Was that a hard quote to end it? I like that. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, if you felt like you connected with this message in some way, or if my videos on this channel have ever helped you, I'd really appreciate if you'd consider joining me over on Patreon or
This dude gets it. You don't need to play Cyberpunk 2077. You already play Cyberpunk 2025. Money has become everything, which is horrible and dehumanizing. Finally, a real human. That's what I'm trying to that's not trying to manipulate me into buying their course. I see that a lot. They like fake genuine. Make you buy some shit or whatever. Anyway, boys, not gonna do that shit to you. I'll see you guys on the next one. This one was good. Recommend me some. I have an email, so send it there. Yeah, see you, boys.